Welcome to Mindful Contract Administrator. This series of video clips has been designed to cultivate the habit of mindfulness within contract administrators. Today, we are going to talk about exceptionally adverse climatic conditions. What is this term? Is it something objective or is it something subjective? This term commonly comes in FIDIC form of contract. However, certain other forms of contracts such as JCT and NEC uses similar terminology. For instance, JCT type of contract call this as exceptionally adverse weather conditions. Anyway, in the FIDIC form of contract, the terminology which is being used as exceptionally adverse climatic conditions has to be investigated. Why? Because this gives grounds for a contractor to claim for extension of time. Now, the adjectives exceptionally and adverse are very subjective terms. For instance, if you are talking about a classroom and a child is doing outstandingly well when compared with the rest of the children, you call this particular child as exceptional character. However, if there are any other students who are in par with this child's capabilities and you cannot clearly distinguish between this child and the rest of the children, you don't call this particular child as exceptional. So, what is the yardstick of classifying this particular child as exceptional? We are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about the parameters which we can use in order to ascertain whether a particular climatic condition is exceptional or not within this video. And on the other hand, what do you mean by adverse? For instance, I am quite used to the temperature of 24 degrees or 25 degrees when I am working in an office environment. My friend or my colleague may be opting to use a different temperature, a lesser temperature than this. So, if we work together in the same room or same conference room, my friend will not feel comfortable working under 25 degrees Celsius or more. So it is an adverse condition to him. For me, if the temperature goes down, it is an adverse condition for me as well. So I won't feel comfortable to deliver my best. So this is also a very, very subjective term. Both the adjectives exceptionally and adverse are subjective terms. However, the standard forms of contract like NEC uses a different criteria to ascertain whether a particular climatic condition is adverse or exceptional. They use a time frame. That particular event may not have happened within the last 10 years. So there is a very objective way of measuring this. However, FIDIC also gives certain guidelines, especially the latest editions of FIDIC uses something called data which is being provided by the employer. Under that, there are certain climate data that the employer has to provide to the contractor in order to comprehend what is the actual climatic conditions in a particular country. Now, what are the parameters in measuring or ascertaining whether a particular condition of climate is exceptionally adverse or not? In order for you to easily remember this, I have used the first three letters of the word FIDIC, that is FID. F means frequency, I means intensity, D means duration. Now let us take an example. You know, there is a small town called Nuwara in Sri Lanka. In this part of the world, and especially in Nuwara, In the morning hours, there is no much drizzle. The sunshine is there, even though the temperature is cooler than the rest of the Sri Lanka. Maybe after 12, 1, 2 o'clock, you will experience in the most of the days a drizzle. So it is quite common in Norelia. Now, let us analyze what this FID means. F means frequency, I means intensity, and D means duration. Frequency wise, suppose Norelia experiences this afternoon drizzles once in 2 days or once in 3 days, and all of a sudden you realize that every day this drizzle is being experienced. So, frequency wise, the climatic condition has changed. Now, let us think about the intensity of the rain. The drizzle has now gone to a higher level, that now you experience a heavy rain. So, intensity wise, it has gone up. Now, let's think about the duration. As I have told you, only in the morning hours you have the sunshine, and in the evening hours you have rain. All of a sudden, it started raining from right throughout the day, from 8 to 5. So, duration wise also, the rain has elevated. Now you can consider this as an exceptionally adverse condition. Why you call it as adverse? Why can't you call exceptionally favorable climatic condition as a ground for an extension of time? For instance, we all do not like to have a drizzle and a cold climate when you are working outdoors, because you need to wear raincoats, you need to have additional measures and all. Suppose Norelia experience sunshine throughout the day. That is also an exceptional climatic condition, but it is not an adverse climatic condition. That is why both the adjectives has to come together in order to consider that particular situation as a exceptionally adverse climatic condition, which gives room for the contractor to claim for an extension of time. Now, there are two things that you need to remember when you talk about an exceptionally adverse climatic condition. It should not be purely considered as a ground for extension of time. Always you have to refer that to the normal circumstances. Let me give you an example. Again, coming back to the case of Norelia. Since you are experiencing drizzle under normal circumstances in the afternoon hours, you cannot consider that particular factor into account when you assess the extension of time. You have to consider only the elevated part, only the difference between the exceptionally adverse climatic condition and the normal climatic condition. For instance, if you experience drizzle throughout the day as opposed to drizzle in the afternoon hours, you have to take into account only the portion pertaining to the morning drizzle while considering to give an extension of time to the contractor. One other important thing is, whenever you experience exceptionally adverse climatic condition, that has to be backed up with proper data. Record keeping is of paramount importance under this sort of conditions. Now let me take another example from the Middle East. As you know, in Middle East, we experience something called sandstorms, or we call it dust storms. Now again, in terms of dust storms or sandstorms, if the frequency, intensity and duration escalates from the normal circumstances, you can consider that also as an exceptionally adverse climatic condition. Like that, in different parts of the world, you may experience different circumstances. Tropical climate experiences rain. Cold countries experiences snowfall. The likes of Middle East countries experiences sandstorms or dust storms. And moreover, there are certain places which is susceptible to heavy wind, maybe an area which is closer to the sea, So all these things can be taken into account when you ascertain an exceptionally adverse climatic condition. I hope this video might have helped you to comprehend the notion of exceptionally adverse climatic condition, and subsequently, if you are a contract administrator, how you decide, how you determine whether this particular situation gives rise for the contractor to claim for an extension of time. Thank you.